Well, hello and welcome to the well. I'm so glad you all could join me today, along with my great guest that I have, who exudes the essence of the topic that I'm covering today. And that is women fueled by faith operating in excellence. I'm telling you, she is my dear. She was my little flower girl in May. Now she's all grown up and fabulous and everything. I want to welcome my dear guest, Dr. Aljanal Hamer-Carroll. Welcome, and we call her Nell affectionately. Welcome to the well, Dr. Carroll.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. I feel honored.
Oh, I am honored to have you. I am so glad. I follow you on Facebook, so I keep up with what you're doing and what you've been doing. And I have to tell my viewers, we have a mom, a wife, she's a businesswoman working every day in the working world, and yet she found time to get a bachelor's, a master's, and just recently her doctorate. And I am just so proud of you because I know all those three stages without having a bit of stress to deal with. I mean, all those different things that you have to juggle in life. Yes. And I'm telling you, I look at you and I think of that. I'm like, this woman is fueled. She's a young woman of faith, but it has fueled her to continue on, and she's still going. You saw her bio in the opening, and that was the brief one. That was the short one. We just couldn't put it all on because we take up the whole show with everything she's done and what she's doing. But I am just so proud of her as a young woman of faith and doing all the things that she's done. Listen, we just had an election, and women really turned out to vote like never before. And it is just amazing. It is just amazing. And I mean, women of color, African American, Asian, Latino, Navajo. It's just unbelievable, what women have done. And when I think about being fueled by faith, I said, here's my little girl. Look at this. So she's a proud mom, along with her husband Darren, the proud mom of two beautiful, phenomenal children, her daughter Diamond and her son Cardia. Is it Cardia? Am I pronouncing it?
Cartier. It's Cartier.
Oh, Cartier. That's right.
Yes.
I should have known. Cartier. Yes.
Yes, Cartier. Yes. Yes.
And they are just beautiful, not only outwardly but inwardly beautiful children. But they represent their mom, because I know. I mean, apples don't fall far from the trees. That's what I've always been told. So thank the Lord. But I want you to share with the viewers the things, and like starting in life that you feel like sharing with them, because people look and they would see you like they see you in church and think, oh, she just had an easy life, and oh, this just came easy, And I have to say, I know her mom, I've known her from little girl, her mom, evangelist Betty Hamer, and her dad, I want to pronounce his name right, Alton.
Yes, Alton. Yes.
Hamer, her parents, and her dad is deceased, but we knew him well, and I just thank God for them and what they have produced and left here, the legacy. Oh my goodness,
the legacy, right?
So amazing. And she has two brothers, right? Two sisters.
I have three.
Oh my gosh, I'm behind the time. But you're the only princess in the group.
I'm the only princess. Yes. Hey. Yes.
That is so great. What you tell me about? Let's talk about Nell. Now, Nell, listen, it's been a long time, but you have done so many amazing things. Let's talk about the different stages that you've done, and just in your own way, like you can interject some of the struggles and trials of trying to get there, so people don't think that these things were obtained easily.
Well, growing up, the only girl, yes, that was a challenge in itself, because big brother want you to be right here. And, people may think, well, now you must have had a very sheltered life. I wouldn't say it was sheltered. I would just say that being in the church, we have a certain degree, or a certain way we supposed to be. And looking back at my background, apostolic background, I thank God for it. Of course, there weren't certain things we couldn't do anyway. And when growing up, you're thinking, wow, I can't go here. I can't do this. I can't wear that. I can't. And, it was like, I felt like I was deprived, but I thank God for my upbringing. I thank God for it. I don't despise it. Did I agree with everything? No, but I thank God for it.
Yes.
It made me who I am today. And I thank God for, of course, my upbringing in my home. My mom and my dad, wasn't around my dad as much, but I thank God for the upbringing. My mother, and as you can see, when we was in New Jersey, of course, we was in church, seemed like church from sunrise to sunset. And we loved it. I love going to church, still love going to church when we can. We're in a pandemic right now. Do that. But church is my life, and I thank God for it. And I was bringing up my children the same way. I do have 3. I have a stepdaughter. She lives in Oklahoma, but I do have 3. And so it's Diamond and Cartier and Brila. But I thank God for all of them. And the ones you see the most are Diamond and Cartier. Yeah. And I teach them the same way, especially with education. Education is very important to me because I somewhat had it hard when it came to learning. And I shared on my Facebook page about my struggles when it came down to not able to comprehend very well. And in that, a teacher, she used to beat me with a broom, and because she said I couldn't catch on like the other kids. And she also compared me to my oldest brother, Terry. She said that you're not smart like him. So basically she would, kind of beat me with a broom and put me in a corner. My mom didn't know anything about it because by the time my mother came to pick me up, she would get me out of the corner in time enough for me to be sitting down, eating snack, looking like I've been in part of the children all day long. I did not reveal that to my mother or my brother until I actually graduated from college, Bevel State University, FSU, my HBCU. Do that until and it was a matter of fact conversation. It wasn't like we were sitting there just talking about school. It was just something, we had a conversation. I said, yeah, that teacher that used to beat me with a broom and had me in a corner. And my mama said, well, who did that? And then, she was all, and, Terry was sitting there. I said, oh, yeah. And I said, it was her. And I said, she had me in the corner. She compared me to you, Terry. And, of course, they was upset. And they couldn't play it. They was like, Neil, why did you hold that? And looking back at it, at the age of 4 and 5 years old, you start to build character at a young age. For me, in the back of my mind, I was saying to myself, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that I can do it. I'm going to show you that I'm going to be a smart person. So a lot of times when I'm doing, it's like sometimes I feel like, not that I'm proving a point, but I'm doing it for me.
Yes.
No, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, and I'm not going to be labeled by anyone. Then to have a doctor to tell me, and I think you remember when I was so sick at the age of 7.
Yeah, you were about 6 when you were in my wedding.
Yeah, so the very next year I had a spinal meningitis. I was 7, and that's when the doctors told my mother that if I were to live, I will be a vegetable for the rest of my life. And I couldn't walk, couldn't remember my name. I couldn't remember anything. So basically everything I did learn, I forgot. I didn't know anything because there was fluid to my brain. So it took everything from me. So again, here it is, struggled at 4 and 5, and here it is, I'm struggling again at 7. but I'm still trying to prove. But you know, by the grace of God and the prayers of the saints, where I walked out of there 3 days later. And I thank God for that. I thank God for everyone that was praying, because I was telling you about, you know, Emmanuel, but I tell you, it was just, that's my home. That was my home, my mama's home. You know, we was in and from sunrise to sunset.
My husband's home.
Yeah, so it was just praying. I thank God for the prayers of my mother, my family, church family at that time. And I thank God because, again, I just, you know, when you look at being fueled, again, I was fueled again.
Yes.
Because I was told, well, the doctors told my mother I wouldn't live. And to look at me now, you say you wouldn't think the way I talk, even my education, wow, she's a doctor. What vegetable do you know that's a doctor? I don't know of a one, but God, you know, so that's a fueling thing for me. And I guess I push my kids a lot because of the fact I never wanted anyone to label them, because I know how that feels. Know how it feels to be bullied. Know how it feels to be pushed aside. I know how that feels. So I guess I always say, kids, come on, you can get it. You got this. I'm in your corner. And sometimes they look at me like, Mom, again, yes, again. Let's go, you know. So, but, you know, and I guess because of all the things I've been through.
Yes.
Never wanted that same thing for my kids. So, you know, I know one time Mom said, don't push them too hard, you know, let them be kids. I said, I'm going to let them be kids, but I'm going to get them.
They're going to be some smart kids.
They're going to be some smart kids. And that they are, with two of them, Diamond and Cartier, they are in college together.
Oh, my God.
I will be graduating North Carolina A&T. That's where my son is at as well. But she'll be graduating North Carolina A&T December 12th. And with a 3.96 GPA overall. She's graduating with 2 degrees as well, and she's coming out in 3.5 years. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. To God.
Go ahead.
And my son right now, he's the same. He has a 3.96 GPA as well overall, and he's kinesiology. So he's into the sports medicine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that fuels me. And I guess the fuel kind of fuel over to the children.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, you're talking about women being fueled by faith. I know your mom is a great woman of faith too. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. That woman.
Oh my goodness. Talk about exuding faith. I mean, not just preach, but I mean everyday living.
Everyday living. Exactly.
So as I said, the apples don't fall far from the trees, you know? So here it is, you and your son and your daughter, that drive, it comes from there. Thank goodness,
Yes,
and I know it seems stressful to kids when their parents are pushing them. They don't appreciate it until later, in hindsight.
Right.
In hindsight too. But to see where they are now and the character, the personalities of them is just amazing. You have to look at them and shake your head. Lord, we got this.
I do. I shake my head at them too. I say, God, you're good. Just an amazement. To giving glory to God. I give him.
Isn't that something? My goodness. And so, I mean, all that in stages. How was that for you, getting your degrees while raising them, though? I mean, how do you juggle all that?
Okay,
working too.
It was very interesting to have 3 in college at the same time, 3 of us. So yes, very, very interesting. Where I've always told my kids, I'm there for you. I'm with you. I got you. But when one of them would call, I said, well, hold on, I got to finish this real quick, and then I get back with you. So again, it was kind of interesting, but to God be the glory. To God be the glory. We made it through. I'm coming out. Well, I'm already out, and my daughter's coming out in December, in a few weeks. And my son, he'll have another 2 years. But my daughter, she'll be starting grad school in August. She got accepted to Elon University, where she'll be, because of her credit hours and all, she'll only have to go to grad school for 1 year, which is a blessing. Yes, it's a blessing. So she's going to go straight through, start August at a time. She comes out in 22. My son will be coming out in 23. So it'll be back to back. So he has to go straight for his master's as well, because kinesiology, you have to go straight to a doctorate.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But what he wants to do, he wants to do sports medicine and be on the sideline with the players and all.
Yes.
Has to go straight through to be a doctor to even touch them. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh, wow. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, for them to know what they want to do and to be, driven to what they really want, that is so awesome. It's like, how do I know that there's a lot of prayer incorporated in that, because how do you do that? How do you get kids to, in this day and age, and I'm sure you were probably a role model for them to see you pushing. So it was,
And I tell people that all the time. I say kids, this is just not just my kids. It's all over. It's by example. Mm-hmm. It's not do as I say, it's do what I do. So my kids will tell you, I'm up between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every day I'm doing devotion, giving time to God. Between there, after that, I'm out. I do boot camp 6 days a week. From there, I'm back in the house getting ready for work. I'm at the office by 7, or I start work here by 7, work until 4 or 5. Then it's the same routine. Then it was actually working on my dissertation, doing a whole lot of writing. So it was just like constantly. So that's what my kids saw. It took me 3 years to finish. So basically my daughter and I after I finished, when I got my master's, when she graduated high school, which is in 2017. Then I went straight through and for my doctorate. So here it is, we finishing at the same time again with my doctorate, and she's coming out with her bachelor's. Yeah, so they've been seeing it basically for straight 6 years of just when it comes to education part. Mm-hmm. But if mama can do it, so can I.
Isn't that awesome?
I graduated with, I had a 4.0 when I got my master's. Yes.
I am not surprised. Oh my goodness. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And, while you were doing that, were you looking back in any way at some of your inspirations, like who might have been some of the people who have inspired you, or whose voice do you hear in your head that saying, "Now you can do it"?
When the topic came over, when you sent that topic over, I was like, "Oh wow, yeah, the women." I have to start at the beginning, and my beginning started with Emmanuel Church of Christ. All of the mothers in that church played a role in my life. It is so hard to say for me when I think of Emmanuel. Mm-hmm. If you think about Emmanuel or the church of old, it's different from the church
now. Yes.
Because the church of old to me was such a village.
Yes.
Had a hand in raising the children that were in. Mm-hmm. So when I think of certain families in Emmanuel, like the Merritts, like the Halls and the Harrisons, I cannot just say we went together. They are family. They're like big brother, big sister, cousins, or whatever. It's just, yes. So I have to go all the way back to Emmanuel. And it's funny how growing up in Jersey, my mother gave me 2 addresses to remember. And I remember these addresses when I think I was either 4 or 5, 2 addresses. And it was 241 North 11th Street. That's where I lived. And 28 That's the church. Because she said her thing was, if I got lost, if something was wrong, if I give those 2 addresses, somebody's going to be at the house because the Merritts lived above us, or somebody's going to be on the street that I know, or some of the mothers going to be at 28 Beacon Street praying. Somebody at 2 of those addresses that you never had, she never had to worry about it. So it was like those, because when I moved here to North Carolina, I still have it. I'm 48 years old, and I still remember those addresses as if I could hear my mama say, what's those 2 addresses? 241 North 11th Street, 28 Beacon Street. I remember that. And so, yes, I have to think about the mothers of old and my godmothers. Oh my goodness, my godmother, Evangelist Lucas. You know, she's one of my godmothers, and godmommy Jeanette took her from Terry. And then this special godmother of mine, Evangelist Cleo Stewart, who is also my great aunt, my grandmother's sister.
Yes.
So that lady right there, I say this without crying.
Wow.
She was always there. Always there. I used to tell my mom, I said, I'm going to be fat like my Nana. I'm going to be just like my Nana, you know, because, and I know you remember, I mean, she was a woman of prayer.
Yes. Yes.
She can spot a demon walking in the door, call it out, and I'm standing right there. I want to be just like my Nana, you know. So
and pray and lay hands on you. Yes.
And turn around, give you a meal, you know, just all of that. So when you have something like that,
that protection and that surrounding, yes.
I mean, and it wasn't a time that I couldn't talk to my Nana, you know, or anything. I just wanted to be around. And my mom would tell me, she would say, Nana, when it was time for offering, I would go say, Nana, give me some offering. Or after church, I say, I'm going home with my Nana. You know, and people say, well, Nell, why do you call her Nana? That's not your grandmother. I said, no, she's my great aunt. That's my grandma's sister. And they were like, what? But the story behind that is her grandson, Timmy, and Terry kind of grew up together in Jersey. So Timmy called his grandmother Nana. Terry said, that's my Nana too. So when I was born, because Terry was calling her Nana, I called her Nana. So it just trickled on down.
That's all right.
And I would say like the other ladies that all of my aunts, all of my great aunts, they just poured into me. You know my Aunt Kathy very well. So and you know how she's a nothing but a
yes.
You know, so I mean I just couldn't.
You couldn't lose. You were well, yes.
Yes, I was. When it comes to
they had you covered. You had it covered.
Covered. And I can truly say this, that every church that I've ever been a part of, I've always been close, or I've always gleaned from the first lady of the church. It never fails. From Sister Rich to Sister Sweeney to Sister Stevens, Pastor Linnell Livingston. I just love her.
Wow.
My first lady now, First Lady Sarah, Dawn Crump. And there's nothing that I could, if I need to call them, I can call them right now. You know, never burn anybody. That's just not who I am.
Wow.
Just love the fact that I can just go to all of them. And I never had a chance to meet or know my paternal grandmother because she passed away when my father was, he was 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
My maternal grandmother, my grandmother, Elder Annie Gillespie Chrome. I tell you, that woman, she's another one. That's the evangelist.
Wow.
And she was the oldest out of 10 kids. So just her just pouring into me, and people say sometimes you act like your grandma too, or people kind of favor her a little bit. I say, I think a little more like my daddy than I do my definitely, last but certainly not least, my mother.
Yes.
My mother, again, I'm getting emotional.
I know.
She has been with me through it all. She used to tell people, I think she said, she told me one time that she had prayed to God that she didn't want me to be so nice. Now, I don't want my daughter to be so nice because of the way I was treated. And as a mother, you never want to see your child hurt.
Yes.
And being the only girl, that really stuck with her, and she stood by me for an awful lot. I was a very sickly child growing up. And when I say I cannot remember one time that my mother wasn't there, I can't remember one time that my mama didn't pray. I can't remember one time that she said, I'm gonna leave you. I can't remember that. So when I look at that, and then I look at my kids, I say, if I can be half the woman she is, I'm gonna be okay, and my kids gonna be okay. I can't just look at one segment of my life. I have to include it all. But I have to say, Evangelist Betty Marie Gillespie Hamer has been my driving force all my life. I cannot thank her enough. I cannot. And my mother and father, they actually met at Fayetteville State. So that's the college I went to, Fayetteville State. That's where they met at. And people say, well, why you go to Fayetteville State? I said, well, my mom and dad went there, hey. Hey, I don't know. I want to go, but
it was good for them.
it was good for them. But to back it all the way up, that wasn't my first choice. Fayetteville State was not my first choice because of the fact I was going to move to Largo, Maryland. Go to school in Largo, Maryland. I was going to move with my aunt Lunell. My aunt Lunell was also my grandmother's sister who lived in D.C. She had got me a job. I was going to work for the government. Yeah. But my daddy said this the day after I graduated high school. Okay, I'm getting ready to pack my bags, go with my daddy. He's supposed to take me to Maryland. My daddy said, "Nail, you're not going. You're going to stay here and go to Fayetteville State." Are you serious? I got me a job. I got accepted to college. What are you talking about? And I cried and I cried and I cried, and I never forget. This is true and funny. Never forget. My daddy said, yeah, I was going to Fayetteville State. And I cried and I went in my room, shut the door, just crying. So Terry comes in there. He says, sweetie, don't cry. You can move to Durham and stay with me. I said, oh no, I'm going to Fayetteville State. So that's how I wound up going, because when Terry suggested I move to Durham with him, after the life we've been living together, no, I'm going to FSU.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Thank you, but no thank you. I don't know what, oh no. Oh, you got to know me and Terry together. Oh my goodness.
Brother and sister, right?
Love him to pieces. I know when he see this, he's gonna be like, that nail.
Oh, but just all that direction, the Lord was in it all. So thank God.
He was in it all. Yes,
that is something. And so by the time you got to college, I also noticed that you're in a sorority.
Yes.
I know your sorority sisters were hanging out and they were there too, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Look at
that. The newly elect Madam Vice President.
Yes. I'm waiting. I was going to let you bring it up.
Kamala Harris. Yes, that is my sorority sister.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just so elated. And you talking about fueling. Boy, that right there in itself has fueled us, not just for the sorority or Divine Nine, but HBCU, because
Yes.
she came from an HBCU.
Yes, yes.
And that's where I came from. And I love my FSU, just like she loved her Howard. And this is the time to just shine as women.
Yes, yes.
Time to shine. I read something that said, ladies, keep your shoes on because there's a lot of glass on the ground. Because we are shattering all over.
Glass ceiling, breaking that glass, right?
We are shattering some things right now. And it's our time. Even you can look at the whole election. I have never seen so many African-American ladies who just came up and pulled out. I mean, made it happen.
Oh.
And a lot of times we don't get recognized for a lot of things that we do and can do. I know, we talk about the discrepancy in pay for women versus men. And it's like, no, we have been the backbone in a lot of areas for so long. And now is the time to do something. Because I told him, I said, I'm at a point now, I'm gonna need to go run for something. I mean, I'm just so excited and hyped, because you never
to change things. And I really think there's something about women's involvement that will change the whole world, that can change the whole context of things.
The whole context of everything. Yes.
I really do.
And I was telling my daughter.
And this is not to put down men or to say that. I think to work with them, but I mean, it's a time for them to shine. And just like I look at Kamala's husband, how he stands by her, he said,
and it's nothing off of him.
Nothing.
One thing off of him. It's shining even more to do her thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's, again, I tell my daughter, I said, baby, I don't want you to ever feel like you have to lower yourself just because. You be who you need to be.
That's right.
It will all flow for you. I am like this form right here. This is not even me. Believe it or not, I'm not the one to want to be in the upfront. I am a pusher. I love to do events. I'm an events planner as well. Galas, weddings. I love to do it all. I just love to be around people and I love to make them happy.
Wow.
I have to be in the forefront. That's just not what I do. But it's like sometimes when, you try to step back more, that's when God kind of like, I need you to do a little bit more than that.
Exactly.
I'm like, well, God, I didn't ask for this. Just to be honest, I have never been the type of person that I want to be up front. Even when I was singing, praise team, our lovely photographer, our church photographer, Deacon Jimmy Gilliard, he know how to capture a moment. He know how to capture with your mouth toe wide open. Your face is all distorted because you're all in praise and worship. And somebody said to me, they said, now when you're singing, when I used to see you sing, you just be in a whole different world. I don't know where I'm at.
You're in the zone.
I'm in a zone. Because like you said, people may look at me or maybe look at this and say, you didn't go through nothing, but my praise and worship tells you something totally different. If anything, if you see me snotting and crying every time I come in church, I have been through some stuff and I'm still going through some things. But I have sense enough to know that when I give it all to him, he's my vindicator in everything. He is my source. He is the source. He has provided me with resources, but he is my source for everything. So no, it's not all about the glitz and glamour. Did it take me a while to get? I just told the story. I mean, to a little child being put in a corner.
Yes.
She thought I couldn't learn well. To now, to being a doctor. Yes, that's something to give God praise for and to show other people what God can do. I am a walking miracle. I tell any and everybody, I'm a walking miracle. God has been so good to me. And yes, I have my struggles. Yes, I still go through, but I know who I serve, and I know he's going to do it just for me. If I give it to him, he's going to work it out for me. He's done it time and time and time again. Has he failed? And I know we used to sing the song, he never failed yet. But the thing about it is, there's not a yet, because he's not going to fail. Because if he fail, then his word is a lie. His words will come back to him void. So therefore, he's not going to do that. He's never going to fail me. I don't care what situation I'm in. I don't care how I feel. I have to go beyond the circumstance to know that the God I serve brought me out of this. He's going to bring me out of it all the time.
You see that? Go ahead and preach.
No, I'm going to leave that to my brothers.
But the Bible says we go from faith to faith and from glory to glory. And all those things that he even permits in our lives are to build us up, to make us, to shape us, to give us endurance, to do all those things that we need to have done in our lives. And we don't understand, having that smooth sailing doesn't give it to you.
It does.
Listen, you viewers, you see her workout. She's in boot camp all the time, and you see
I have to work it out.
Working out. You see it at the end of the show. Working out. Oh my gosh, that is serious. That's just like you said. You 48. You do not look 48. If you saw the regimen she kept, it would help explain it. But I'm telling you though, all that, to strengthen, it takes all of that to keep you physically fit. Well, spiritually, God knows what it takes to make us spiritually strong. And so everything, like you said, it's been a driving force to, what it takes to motivate us. And look, look at you.
Look at God. What? I even go to, I used to run before I even started boot camp. Boot camp is 45 minutes, and I used to run about 4 or 5 miles before camp. And someone said, "Nail, do you sleep? Do you sleep at all?" And I said, "I
do." Get up at 3, go to work.
Yeah. They said, "Well, what time you go to bed?" I said, "I try to be in there kind of early. I don't always make it like that, but I tell them, I said, that's my driving force. I mean, I used to hear the early bird catches the worm. So I've never been a type of person who just want to lay in the bed. First of all, let me say this. Betty Hamer didn't allow me to lay in the bed. I mean, I had Saturday chores, so I had to get up. We always had prayer, Saturday morning prayer. And from there, I had to do chores. Then I can do what I wanted to. By the time I got to the then, I want to go to bed. I
mean, you were worn out and tired,
right? Betty knew what she was doing.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And
keep your mind the idle. I ain't had no idle mind. That was one thing.
You see that? that is so true. It's the keeping you busy, keeping kids busy and occupied. They don't have time to get into trouble and be distracted and be drawn away into other things. That's so smart, but so spiritually discerning of your mom. But that's her. Right. I knowing her, that's her. You see.
Let me tell you something. And then that house had to be a certain way. Oh my gosh! They said, well, now like some of my friends would come to my house, and they would always say, "Oh, your mama's house is beautiful. Did y'all come from a military home?" I said, "Military? No, that's how my mama is." Oh my goodness, you couldn't have nothing up under the bed. Oh my. The vacuum up under your mama, ain't nobody up going up under my bed. Just vacuum up.
But see, that's the way that kids were raised then are raised differently now.
Yes.
And it shows,
It
really.
shows. It shows. And I try to tell do the same thing with my kids. They come home for college. I say, okay, washing clothes, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And they're like, Ma, I said, what? And then one of them, some of their friends had came here to the house, and they was in one of the rooms, and Diamond said something about me And Diamond said, look, my mama is crazy. So no, I don't. I think they was asking, did she do something? She said, oh no, my mama's crazy. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna do that. Because my mama was
She don't play that. She don't play that.
Oh. They still know it. They still know it, and they all grown. I have grown children now. So yeah.
But that, you know what, that kind of mentality and instilling that in them, when they would be away from you, it would cause them to think. And that's what's so important. You know,
yes.
It's like, well, mama don't have to be there, but her word, her mind is there. What she put in me is there. You know what they say about training up a child in the way they should go. Even when they're not around you, there's reminders there. You know, there's certain things.
That was the same way with me. Funny you say that, because that was the same way with me when I was in college. When I went to Fayetteville State, that was my first time away from home. I was 17 when I left home. So I started school early. So I was 17 by the time I started Fayetteville State. And I was the same way. I went to bed early. They called me the grandma of the dorm. Because they know, just bring nothing crazy in there. Because, I mean, so it was like, I didn't have to say it. It was of my actions. I didn't have to say that I'm saved. Say that. They saw that by the life I live. And that's what I was telling my kids. I say, you cannot, it's not about what you say, just live the life. And people will see that. You know, they said, well, now you know a lot of people. Yes, I do. But that's just who I am. I mean, I be around people. I think I'm a people person. And I just live the life. That's why I tell the kids, just live the life.
Exactly. And that will speak for you. And that will speak. You know, that's what that scriptures mean about letting your light so shine before men. You know, that they'll see your works. They question, they're like, well, she doesn't do this. Why don't you? You know, they put a sign on, and that gives you opportunity to, you know, to really kind of witness and tell them, not because you've taken a Bible and throwing it in their face all the time, you know, and they don't see a life, but a life well lived speaks for itself.
And I tell people that all the time. Sometimes we're going to be the only Bible people will ever read. And do we have flaws? Yes, we have. Of course. But we have to be careful, especially when we are claiming the name of Christ, how we live our life. Because you don't want the blood on your hand when it comes to a soul being lost because they're looking at you. And because sometimes only Bible they're going to read. So you have to live a life. And it's not so much of, you know, how you do at work. It's how you do all the time in the grocery stores, everywhere. When you pumping gas, especially when you're bobbing in and out of traffic. Oh my God, help me today. Because I have to, yes, I mean, you know, I'm keeping it real. You know, so I have to ask God to go.
That's right. Because they sure can get on your last nerves.
Even in the pandemic, I'm like, where y'all going? Why are we bobbing and weaving? Why?
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, just live the life. Again, you have to speak it. When you walk in the room, I told my kids too, when you walk in the room, you should have such a presence on you. And that's the Spirit of God, where you draw people. And that's what he wanted to do. And the Bible speaks that. Draw all men unto him. But he has to
in you. Yes.
We are the Jesus walking around here. Not saying that we're perfect, but he's right here.
That's right.
And he has to shine out.
That's right. Oh my goodness. And that's what makes a difference about as you as an accomplished young woman, you know, is that you didn't have to throw away your faith to accomplish these things. You know, it was your faith that kept fueling you, you know, even in struggles, I'm saying, you know, we don't dot every I and cross every T, but we're conscientious that if we don't, that, you know, I got to do better, and I'll do better next time. There's no deliberate, like, well, you know, right now I'm in college, I'm here to have fun and I'm going to do my thing. And, you know, with no conscientiousness of who you represent or who has got you this far. And that's why, I applaud you and admire, because I know it's not easy, because temptations come everybody's
Oh my gosh,
way.
yes.
And,
Yes.
the more you try to do right, the more he drives the temptation and puts everything around you, because he's trying to pull you out, destroy your faith. And the fact that you have, or anyone that makes it through, whether it's education or just life living, trying to make it through, doing the best that they can and holding on to their faith, allowing their faith, to walk them through things. That's something.
And you know what? I told me and my mother, we was having a conversation. I was talking about my mama. I tell you, I love that woman. We was having a conversation about, being saved. And a lot of times we think that if you're saved, that's the only thing you need. You're gonna be all right. No. I need more. I need somebody to talk to me, and sometimes I need to talk to someone.
Yes.
No, because yes, I talk to my Heavenly Father every single day. God knows I do. And it's not always like on my knees. I can be just driving. So God, in the name of Jesus, just anything. I can talk, I need to talk to, but sometimes I need to talk to someone. And
yes.
A scenario here, when I was in the 10th grade, one of my girlfriends, we was walking to band class, and she was having an off day. I kind of figured she was having an off day, and I asked her what was wrong, and she proceeded to tell me, all while we were walking to band class. And she came up to the girl that she had the issue with, because all of us are supposed to be in a band class going together. So she confronted the girl, and to make a long story short, her and the girl got in an altercation, and I'm standing right here. I'm standing, two girls right here, and I'm right here. So it's just like right here, arm length. So they going back and forth, and I'm trying to push and say, "Come on, y'all, this is not what we do." So my girlfriend, who's a senior, and the girl that she had an altercation was a freshman. So the freshman, actually rambled something in her pocketbook, and she got something out. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm pushing my friend along, let's go in the band class. And she actually punched her in the back. The freshman actually punched my girlfriend in the back. Come to find out, it was a knife. And the girl had actually pushed her. And when she pushed her, she slit her neck up here, the main artery. And from there, blood started coming out in the fork. So I had on, I never forget, I had the color turquoise on. And I thought I was cute. And I had on some fake glasses. Thank God I did. Because when the blood was coming out like a fork, it was coming straight in my eyes. That's how close I was. In that moment, I was only 14 or 15 years old.
Oh my God.
So, and I was saved at the time. The point I'm trying to make is, yes, I was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. But I had to go to counseling.
Yes.
And my mama sleep with me because I had nightmares. Because here it is, I'm a child, a minor. I had to be an eyewitness in a murder trial where they had to subpoena my father because I'm a minor. Little stuff like that. Again, fueling. You see things like this that you're not supposed to see, especially at a schoolhouse, and you say, God, I never want to be in a position where I can't get to you. But then too, when I'm in a face with a situation like that, what happens? Yes, you call on Jesus all day long, but mentally I went through. It kind of puts me back to the situation when I was 4 and 5 years old, sitting in the corner because you deemed me as a person that couldn't learn properly. So another thing that kept fueling me, I mean, it's like step after step, something going on that just kept fueling. I said, and all of that, the devil could have just took my mind. I could have actually lost my mind.
Being right there, witnessing it. Oh my
yes,
God.
I mean, and she basically passed in front of me, because when she passed out, that was it. Her bodily fluids, everything was leaving. So mentally, yes, again, I'm saved, but that wasn't.
That's trauma. You were traumatized.
That's trauma. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of things, like you saying, fueling you, not just education wise, I mean, but psychologically.
Mentally, oh my God.
Fuel you to say, out of this. I got to get out of this. I don't know what, God, you're going to have to help me. I have to get out of this. And my mother can, she can tell you how she was sleeping with me, and I was waking up hollering. I was waking up crying because of what I saw.
That's trauma.
And it took me a while. It took me a while. But in all of that, God is good. He was good then, he's good now. And he keeps showing me in so many areas of my life, I'm with you. Even though it seemed like it's so hard to be. And I just want to say to all the ladies, I mean, when it feels like you can't trust me because of the things I have been through, yes, you can.
Yes, you
can. I mean, there is nothing too hard for him. Nothing that you can't get over, nothing you can't get around, nothing. Yeah. I have been picked on, ostracized, pushed aside. I'm telling you, all of that. Oh, man, that didn't happen to you. Oh, yes. And it still do. But it's okay. God is still good.
And you're still standing.
I'm still standing. And said some things when it's supposed to take you out. Oh, yeah. A lot of things supposed to take me out a long time ago. But God.
Where that song say, I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me now.
It's not going to do it.
It's not. Because there's a purpose and a destiny in all of this.
Yes.
All this, Yes. And he that hath begun a good work.
That is one of my favorites.
Yes. Mine too. I hold on to that all the time. If he begins, all he had to do was start it. Doesn't matter what the devil does. And that's why he messes with us so much, because he can't stop God. So he tries to use it to stop us. But as long as we keep on going, God is there.
Yes, he is.
That is so. I'm telling you, I am so thankful to have you on as such a great witness and encouragement to any young woman, any mother raising her children. To say, you know what, with Christ, all things are still possible. And that you don't have to give up on yourself. If you will just, ask the Lord to strengthen you, whatever it is, whether it's go back to school or whatever it is, it's in your heart. Whatever he puts in your heart to do, that you can do it. It's in your heart for a reason.
It is in my heart for a reason.
Exactly. And so he gives you, when people say, oh, the Lord will give you the desires of your heart, they think that's like whatever you pray for. But I think he gives you what to desire. And that's what I'm saying. In your heart, you go after that, and you don't know what he's going to do, but just follow what he's putting in your heart to do, and do it with all your might. Do
it all your might. Don't give up. I don't care what it looks like. Is it always supposed to look like a bed of ease? No. If that's the case, then we all be there. But my mother always say too, Nell, what you're going through is for somebody else. And my response to that always is like, I want to find who this person is so I can show them